Welcome back to Citizen Sleeper. We got a lot going on. Tell you what. The last thing we did was disable our tracker and finally get free. We also, let's go over what we did in the last couple episodes. So we did do this. We gave Emphis the girl caps. We met Rico, who's like the botanist on the underside, or the over on the Greenway. Improve the overlook. We gotta help the distillery. We finished up everything with Ankita. She gave us chits and left. And we will never see her again. Fang helped us get our... Oh, he's ready. Yeah, Fang helped us get our, whatchamacallit back. Our tracker off, so we got that done. Express. I think we're growing mushrooms currently. Maybe we aren't. I can't remember if we finished that or not. No, we are. Okay. Alright, so we got mushrooms. Mushroom groves, the Haifa Labs, Haifa Dorm. We can sleep in here too. Let's try it. Nice. Oh yeah, okay. The waste where we can grab scrap. We got enough energy though, so let's go talk to Emphis. See if I can remember what his voice sounds like. Oh yeah, we got a house now. Which we didn't pet the kitty. Emphis is preparing the girl caps. He has had to heavily adapt this recipe, he says, but the smell is already incredible. It emanates from a strange purplish-white bulb you have never seen before, and he is slicing it finely. He brushes and slices the mushrooms and then places them in the wok with the sliced bulb and the oil. They caramelize there, in that well-worn crucible. He adds liquids, transparent and opaque, and then turns down the heat. A sprinkle of leaves is the final touch.
We have a moment, Sleeper.
He smiles.
Do you have a story?
Something in the scent of the food gives you a feeling of nostalgia, something distant and melancholic. It seems like the story should match that feeling somehow, and maybe you will feel better for telling it. No, we're going to be honest with him. You start by explaining that when you are emulated from a person, many of your memories are left behind. Perhaps it is an intentional part of the process, a way of keeping sleepers ignorant and malleable, or perhaps it is a side effect of the imperfect emulation. You admit that you don't really know. What you do know is that some memories survive, and that on occasion they come back to you, like shadows passing overhead. You detail one recurring memory, which despite returning to you with enough regularity for you to think it familiar, always fades as quickly as it arrives. You struggle to explain the feeling of being whole for a moment that comes with this memory, and then how that wholeness slips away to leave you feeling like you have forgotten something important, but just can't bring it to mind. Emphis nods throughout, cooking as he does with deft and skillful movements. You start to trail off when you realize you can't find the words to explain how the memories you do have feel like both yours and someone else's at the same time, and how that always fills you with a certain sadness. The sadness of remaining forever unknown, even to yourself. Emphis finishes cooking and meets your eye.
I'm sorry, Sleeper, for your troubles.
He puts the wok to one side.
I appreciate you sharing with me.
He smiles.
I hope it lightens you a little.
He passes you a bowl and heaps the gorals into it. Their yellow color mixing with the pale sauce and whirls and blooms.
Eat.
The dish is delicious, filling. It warms you as you eat it in a way you weren't even sure your body could be warmed. It is a small mercy, you think, that SNR left you this pleasure. Many of the features of frames are there to stimulate human experience. You know that much. Emulated minds cannot be rewired, so their need for embodied experience must be met. That is why you breathe even when you do not need air. Without that simulation, the sensation of drowning would be unbearable. Food serves another purpose. Your frame is able to metabolize it, to produce energy from the raw material. Vitamins and minerals are excess, of course. Your frame only needs raw power. So much is wasted, and yet, while you eat this food and feel that warmth, nothing feels wasted. It all means something to you. As you finish, Emphis takes the bowl, the last of his cleaning. He smiles at you, and neither of you feel the need to say anything more. Instead, you simply exchange nods and walk your separate ways back into the bright market, somehow changed. Okay. I thought he was gone too. Hey, we can do this. Yeah, you want these Matsutake broth? Okay. What's he doing with this? Emphis says he needs some time to ready the broth. Apparently there are some ingredients he still needs to source. Okay. So... let's see here. Oh, damn, we got full energy. Alright, I say we help out at the Overlook, because I think we can knock both of these out right here. Last one. Tala comes to help you for a bit and chats to you about her plans for the Overlook. A second pair of hands makes the work go easier. Did we get scrap for that? No, we did not. Hey, okay. Tala stands back from the newly finished still and tub, hands on hips. Look at this, she grins. The Overlook Distillery in all its glory. She squeezes you around the shoulders. Thank you. How's sourcing ingredients? Tala smiles. I think I've got most of it covered between the food factories in the low end and the farm stacks in the Greenway. However, she pauses, there is an issue. What's the problem? Well, Goral, the drink, as you probably guessed, is named after the Goral the mushroom. That's what gives it its golden color and earthy taste. The alcohol is infused with the mushrooms along with a mix of spices. That means you need Goral caps to make Goral. But no one wants to supply us. The distilleries in the Greenway are taking all the stock from the farms out there, so it's hard to get a single cap across Founder's Gap. However, I have an idea, she smiles. We can grow our own Goral caps here. She gestures at the increasingly equipment-filled back room. I can bring you mushrooms. Tala gives you a pitying look. Where's your vision? Any outside supplier means they take a cut. Okay, maybe not you, but someone, somewhere, takes a cut. Tala puts a hand on the still. We made a still. We set all this up. How hard can growing mushrooms be? They don't need light. They barely need soil. We can do this. She pauses. Or at least we could if we had something to grow them from. Like spores? Exactly. Suddenly you feel like you've walked into a trap. And you are the perfect person to get me those spores. She nods rapidly. Think about it. You built the still. You are great with plants. You know the eye like the back of your hand. Need I go on? Half of that isn't even true. Don't be so modest, she pats your shoulder. Look, I can't leave the bar, and the other people picking up shifts. She grimaces. I'm saying it has to be you. Fine. Wonderful. You'll love it over on the Greenway, I think. All that fresh air, open space. She sees your expression. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. She turns back to look at the still and the fledgling distillery forming around it. It really is something, though, isn't it? And want to or not, you really have to agree. Girl, I fucking got you. We got mushrooms growing as we speak. Okay. Let's go sleep in my new house. I don't want to do it yet. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I need to remember what we were doing in the Sci-Fi lab. Farm snacks. Okay. We can put in the work. Mushroom groves. Collect spores. Yeah, she's gonna want me to collect spores, so that means... Okay. I'll bring her some spores. I like this. Obsessive haggler. So we just need one more thing refilled. That's Matsutake caps. And then in the lab, she wants what? Oh, you want spores too? Dang gum, dude. All right, so we gotta take our thing. We need both. So you only get energy? It's not bad. Okay. So tomorrow the spores will be ready. We can get Rico some. And we can get Tala some. Okay, yeah, let's... Oh, we're gonna need some money. Oi! Condition stabilized, okay. Let's feed the cat. Those aren't terrible. Okay, let's head over. So we need Timber Tea House. Or should getting mad money, would that be the move? High stakes pay only. High stakes only play. 24 cryo. It's risky, but... And you don't get shit for that, so... So how much does she need? Oh, she just needs one spore. Alright, yeah, we can knock that out. I'm not even sure we'll have to use our 6s for that. Alright, actually, we can hang on to these for now. We don't really need to waste anything. Okay. It's risky, but what if we did this? Neutral outcome. I guess I could have used fuck, yeah. No, we're not doing that. Two spores. Okay, so we got extra. Go to the Sci-Fi labs. We'll give Rico one. Rico is grateful for the contribution. Sleeper, you warm my heart with each delivery. Thank you. Oh no, she does need 3. Shit, okay. Looks like we will be using our 6s. Rico needs spores to study the strangely resilient biosphere that has formed around the Greenway. How is this place thriving? Okay, Rico. Sleeper. Rico greets you without so much as looking up from her work. I have some of yours. Here, come see. She beckons you over to a heavyweight-looking console, wired to a series of specimen jars, some of which contain your spores. Where'd you get this? This, would you believe, she smiles, was a Solheim console built to analyze the nutrient contents of the Greenway crop. Sci-Fi have been using these for decades now, although sometimes they need a little tender care. You look at the machine, patched with hull offcuts, the gaps between which reveal a tangled nest of wiring. If you are honest, it looks like it has received a lot of care. The spores you have here are a real cocktail, a selection of types from within the groves, but I've been able to isolate a few. She taps one of the specimen jars. Here we have Tricholoma matsutake. Rico breezes through the Latin and Japanese pronunciation as if it was nothing. A species Solheim somewhat modified for use on the station. She brings up a panel on her console showing a chemical composition, all gradiented bars and obtuse acronyms. This is the composition of the Solheim modified matsutake spores. Modified? Yes, every species on the eye is a tweaked variant of Solheim's, of course. But that's not the point. Rico brings up another panel, identical in layout, but with wildly different colors and numbers. You see? This is what your matsutake spores look like. They aren't the same? That's the conclusion, yes? Rico glances at the specimen jar as if it might have something to add. They are fundamentally the same spores, but they carry different chemicals, different signals. She leans back and sighs. Solheim may have introduced their own tweaked versions in the beginning, but the groves have, and still are, affecting them. Affecting them how? It's hard to tell without samples of fully grown mushrooms. She meets your eye, and herein lies our problem. She moves to another desk where 2 trays sit side by side. The first contains nothing but plant mulch. The second you smell before you even look at it. The pungent aroma of the fruiting matsutake, like rotting, sodden overalls, laced with an edge of spice. The matsutake here are grown from Solheim stalks, pulled from a spore vault in this complex. They are delicious, by the way. She sets them aside. The empty tray is germinated with the spores you collected. No activity, no germination, nothing. But the groves are full. Yes, they are. Rico looks at you directly, and you suddenly realize how much she is enjoying this. So, here is our puzzle, Sleeper. Spores from the groves won't grow in the lab. But gathering fruiting bodies from the groves is too unpredictable. We need to grow a fruiting body from some of these spores so we can track it, understand it. In short, I need you to become my mushroom farmer. Actually, I already started. Rico looks impressed. Well, well, an eager mycologist. I'd never have guessed. I assume you set yourself up in the aviary. I've been eyeing that place up for its proximity to the groves. Bring me whatever grows, not just matsutake. There's more than a couple of variants in there, so I'll need plenty of samples. She plucks a matsutake cap from the tray. These little things are reflections of their conditions. Their smell, their taste, their chemistry. It all derives from the conditions of their growth. She smells the cap. Enough of these, and we'll have a picture of what is happening here, of the ways in which this biosphere is modifying itself, or being modified, whichever the case may be. Riko pops the Matsutake cap into her mouth, taking you by surprise. And don't worry, Sleeper, she says while chewing softly. If this turns out to be a dead end, I'll make sure that not a single mushroom will go to waste. Oh, shit. We have to give her so many. Okay, you can have all these. Oh, yo. You get lots of them. We could just knock this out, but we gotta get spores. Oh, yeah. 2 random rare mushrooms and Girl caps. Does it kind of make sense to do this? I got an idea. How many spores does what's her face need? Tala. How many does she need? She also needs 3. Okay. Here's what we'll do. We already gave her some spores, so... Oh no, it would only make sense to get spores. Two grow spores. We get 2 more. That's literally all we need, so... Cool. Oh, another 6. That's fucking awesome. Okay. Hell yes. Oh, you don't need spores. Damn it. Okay. I'm an idiot. Let's go to the mushroom farm. Harvest mushrooms. Two rare mushrooms. Okay. Hyphalabs. What removed my condition? Oh, sleeping? Okay, never mind. Don't pay any attention to me. Yeah, we'll get this last one done. We got 4 spores for her. Okay. Riko meets you at the entrance to the lab, leaning on her crutch with a glint in her eye. Walk with me, Sleeper. I'd like to tell you a story. She makes her way down the corridor that leads back up towards the main commune building. When people first crossed what we call Founder's Gap into the Greenway, they did so against the wishes of Andre Erlin. At the time, Erlin was trying to stabilize the Union and establish control over the Eye in the wake of Solheim's collapse. It was chaos, competing factions, failing systems, so many dead and injured from the riots. That was his priority. Erlin was interested in people, not plants. He was a pragmatist, and for good reason. You both crossed through a glass-roofed tunnel, the greenway outside crowded with vines and branches stapling the light. Erlin had written the greenway off. Cut off from the rest of the station and linked to a broken spoke, he claimed it was only a matter of time before everything here would die. He refused to let anyone abandon their duty to the Union and cross. They were traitors to the cause, or as good as. Riko continues, making her slow but steady way into the inner gardens of the commune. There weren't many of us, but we believed what was here was worth saving. We had to keep our plans secret until we crossed, and some of us left people behind. She pauses to catch her breath, her voice cracking. It is difficult to know if from effort or emotion. What we found was a disaster, nothing like what you see here. Half of the greenway was leaking oxygen into space, the plants flash frozen. The other half was a swamp of mulch, as decaying matter clogged every system. We worked hard, we lost good people, we cleaned up and closed up. but it was never going to be enough. After many, many cycles, we all knew this place was doomed, but we kept on working, talking less and less, because we couldn't face it. We all developed a death wish. If the Greenway was going to die, so would we. What changed? Everything. Rico smiles. We crossed some invisible boundary, tipped some biological scale, and the Greenway started to recover. Plants flowered, crops sprouted. For the first time, we reaped the fruits of our labor. Rico smiles, looking up at you. We thought it was us, that we managed to do just enough to end the cycle of decay. I thought we had saved the Greenway, until today. You pass into the grow beds of the commune, rich with the hustle and bustle of Haifa members planting and harvesting. For a while, Rico is quiet, and you both simply observe the hypnotic movements of the work crews, the eager chatter washing over you like a wave. Rico smiles to herself. I should have known, of course, that our arrogance was unfounded, but we needed to believe back then. We needed a myth to bring more people across the gap. You both move into a smaller corridor, Rico following some direction unknown to you. What you have shown me is that, back then, the Greenway saved us, not the other way around. Tell me, have you ever consumed one of the matsutake or goral caps you have been growing? Yes. I imagine they were delicious, nutritious, almost uniquely so, she muses. After all, they were designed for you. Rico has a mischievous look. At first I thought it was the location they were grown in that made the mushrooms from the aviary, from the labs, or from the grove different to each other. But what I have come to understand is that it is the person growing them. The matsutake and goral caps you brought me are totally unique, containing compounds never usually found in similar specimens in my possession. Many of these compounds aren't even digestible for humans, but for a sleeper like you. Rico smiles as she leads you into the internal garden of the commune, where the Haifa members have planted species from all over the Greenway. Back when the tide turned, when the Greenway started to recover, we all felt something, a response. It was as if this place was not just alive, as a forest as alive, but alive in other ways, communicative, responsive. We shrugged it off at the time, but now I understand why. Rico stops and turns to you. This place is responding to us, adapting itself to us. It is growing fruiting bodies for you, for me. It is adapting, changing. It is, in short, displaying all the signs of sentience. The Greenway is sentient? Perhaps not the Greenway, but the ecosystem itself, or something within it. Rico sits on a bench with the peaceful gardens and gestures for you to join her. When you have been growing the gorals and the matsutakes in the aviary, those species so familiar to the Greenway, have you discovered any others? Not yet. Rico nods. If you do, can I ask that you immediately bring them here? I believe it is only a matter of time before they bloom. You look around the garden, amazed at the sense of peace within it. Rico interrupts the silence. There is a species of mushroom that I haven't seen in years. It is dark, short, shaped like a club. We first found it in those early days, when we were working to save this place. It was around the time that we started to lose our first members. They were succumbing to some infection, some mold growing deep in the dark mulch that drowned this place. At that point, we thought we were lost. And then these mushrooms emerged from that same black mold. We tested them and saw that they contained some compounds that counteracted the mold. They contained an antidote. Of course, as a botanist, I saw this as part of the natural process of this ecosystem, even if the time scales seemed absurdly short. But what I am wondering is if that antidote was a gift. Rico meets your eyes. Perhaps, if you are patient, you will receive your gift too, sleeper. You both sit for a while. Rico seemingly done telling stories for today. You watch the light playing off the leaves and plants around you and wonder what forces could be at play in this place. After a while, you stand and leave, with a quiet nod to Rico, leaving her to her memories. She's amazing. I love her. Clubhead analysis. And now we go back and give Tala spores. Oh, we didn't get an upgrade point for that. That's alright. Alright, girl. Uno más. Ay, okay. Oh, come on. We gotta wait for him to grow. Just won't let anyone in or out. Okay. Alright, Tala. You do you, girl. Let's see. What do we got going on here? Still waiting on Emphis. We got, what, one more day left? Or Fabricator. I say we play the tea house. 100% positive here. We could just use this day as a money-making day. Actually, why did I feel like we got these down to 80? Did we? Yeah, we did. Okay. If we found some scrap. Or no, we gotta dig up mushrooms. Farm stacks, Haifa commune. We could do this. This is safe. Take that. Mushroom groves. So we can do oh wait, no, the aviary. Keep forgetting that. Yeah, we can do 2 more. Please be positive. Oh, come on. 1 more, baby. We got a club head. Hell yes. Rico. Look what I have. Oh, you're gonna need 3 of them, aren't you? Damn you. Okay. Now we gotta wait. Okay, we'll plant a little bit more of those. Leave. I guess we could just sleep in the dorms while we're here, huh? Emphis will be good tomorrow, which will be nice. Alright. Get down with these. We're gonna go check on Emphis. Oh, there he is. Emphis is preparing the matsutake caps. He cleans them carefully with a damp cloth before shaving the stalks as if he was sharpening a pencil. His knife slides through them, revealing the bright white of the flesh within.
These are good, Sleeper. Very good,
he says without looking up.
I bartered with Minji for some kelp too, so we can brew the dashi.
You know Minji? Emphis looks up from cutting with a smile.
Everyone knows Minji.
Emphis slides the sliced matsutake mushrooms to one side and takes out a closed pan. He opens the lid and you see the green wafer of kelp sitting in a bath of water.
Been soaking it since last cycle,
Emphis explains.
Should be good to warm now.
Places the pan over the burner and turns it on low.
We have some time now.
He wipes his hands clean and throws the cloth over his shoulder.
However, there is one difference this cycle.
He smiles.
You have been the one providing the ingredients, so it is my turn to provide a story.
But,
Sleeper, let me speak, please. I want to tell you this one.
He gestures for you to both sit on the folding stools behind the stall.
You see these?
Emphis runs a hand over his forearm, tracing the circular scars that mark them like the perfect bite marks.
Conway called it an anchored interface rig, a mechanical control device for piloting a heavy-duty extraction suit in low-G industrial operations. We called it a bone suit.
He points to a pattern of larger circles on his shoulder.
They drill in and anchor it here, then all the way down the arm.
He taps each scar on the way.
It maps mechanical movements to the suit exactly, a 1-to-1 mechanical replication. You swing your arm, a 2-ton arm swings too. You should have seen the recruitment vids. Strong people, even in even stronger suits, tearing through stone and scrap. Superheroes. Half my graduating year signed up, from company school to company shuttle. Conway from birth to death.
He stares off into the distance for a moment, fighting with the memories.
But the bone suits weren't good. The rate of failures was high, and failures meant arms torn off, anchors torn out, broken bones, bad stuff. So after a while, Conway discontinued them. No longer competitive, they said. He checks the broth, turning down the heat and adding the mushrooms. So there we were, hundreds of us, with surgical alterations for suits that didn't work. They sent us home, back to that company colony that spat us out, to be cleaners, drivers, cooks. They gave us drugs for the pain and told us to make something of ourselves. When I deserted, bribing some passing spacers to take me into orbit, there were only me and a couple of others left. The rest just faded away. Arthritis, osteoporosis. They folded in on themselves like paper lanterns. That was my generation. The anchor points still ache, still burn. He touches the scars. But what burns worse is the betrayal. I've been on the eye a long time now, but that will never fade. Not that, and not the faces of my friends.
Emphis reaches over and sprinkles a handful of leaves onto the broth.
It is ready.
I'm sorry.
Don't be. It was Conway's crime, and you know better than most what we went through. Is it enough that you are here to listen?
Emphis pours the broth into a double-walled metal bowl and hands it to you. The heat radiates through your hands, and the smell drifts up, rich and sharp, like a pine forest after the rain. You drink the broth slowly, chewing the matsutake and thinking. Emphis busies himself with cleaning the pans in the bowl, sealing the kelp back up for another day. Then he quietly comes to sit with you while you finish your meal. Neither of you speak, preferring instead to let the story linger in the air a little longer. It is not that there is nothing to say. It is that sometimes, in the moments after something, speaking breaks the spell. So you both idle, eager to be in each other's company, Emphis taking longer over his cleaning, his packing, and you savoring the final dregs of broth. When you finally finish and hand him the bowl, you feel the spell break, and the story leaves you both. And as you leave, you know that both of you are somehow a little more empty and a little more full than before. What? Oh, is that all we're gonna get to interact with him now? Oh. 64 for that? Dude, nice. I feel bad. We don't get to hang out with Emphis anymore. That sucks. Well, shit. I mean, we don't need money, that's for sure. We could, I mean, I guess we gotta get more mushrooms growing. That is a priority. Farm stacks, there's no progress bar. Yeah, so we need 2 more spores here. Dorm, I have a commune, there's no more progress bar. Damn, we're wrapping it up. Climbing briar. Oh, you know what we could do? Here, I got an idea. Let's get 2 more spores. Positive. And then let's climb the spoke. Greenway gate, and put the cipher. That ain't gonna work. Oh, what's this? Another one? Is there 2? No, there's just 1. I just got fooled by it twice in a row. Okay, yeah, we could try to climb the spoke, because that's one of the things we haven't done. We could also see yacht again. I don't really want to work for... Rabia's office. Yadigan Lieutenant's office. That is who is running the stabilizer. So maybe we should just nut up and do it. Workers on the sidereal crew get entered into a draw for the colony's ship's live-in crew. That's one way off the eye into a new life. Nah, dude. We're not doing that. Sorry, I don't want to be an enforcer. Let's just climb the spoke. I don't want to work for her. Scale the spoke. Of course, it's just 1. Spoke climber. We're doing another one. We're doing one more. We're scaling it. Whoa. Sender car? What is this? What the hell? Paz import export? Oh my god, we got a lot of things to click on. that. Interface. Wait, isn't there something I can get for interface stuff? Chance to gain cryo. It's like a little job almost. Okay. Hub asset access to the eye's central hub. Okay, give me a second on that. What? 80 cryo? No, you can't sell this, right? No, okay. Hey. Repeatable action? Dude, that's sick. Okay. And that's with a discount. 20% off. Okay, let's go to the hub. No, before we do that, let's go to Overlook. Oh, we already put the spores in there. Bro, what are you doing right now? You didn't plant them. You daggum dingus. Alright. And now we wait. Now we go to the hub. I'm excited. This is crazy. Dude, what? This is wild as hell. Station Central Mainframe, A1 Mainframe. The AE1 mainframe is now mostly disused, Haven Age having set up their own master controllers. Navigator thinks Killer is hiding here. Oh. Okay. Wait, let's wander. Okay, hold on. What is this? Spacers socializing. The hub is thronging with spacers from across the surrogate systems. They can be a prickly bunch, but they know the place well. Interface. The stacked bays house a flow of incoming and outgoing ships. The digital manifest will help you get your head around this place. Up here, there is no gravity, so even just moving around takes a while to get used to, let alone navigating the bays. Okay. So we got kind of a new thing going on here. So this will be the last thing we'll do this episode, I'm assuming. Weird, I didn't realize that we still had more. Okay. Oh shit. You slip into the cloud, as easy as blinking. Navigator is beside you, their sphere casting light into the strange darkness here. This is not how a mainframe should look, a center, a point of connection. The object in front of you is severed, cut off, a rootless, branchless tree. Only the trunk remains. Is Killer even here? Quiet. Navigator hisses, and then you see it, like a blade in the dark, an edge slicing through the void. It glides along at a distance and winks out. Then it appears again, elsewhere, gliding once more, searching. It's looking for us. The moment you make a sound, the edge leaps closer, and you see now it is not an edge, but the ridge of a long, sharp head, like a shark. It glides past, closer now, and you see into the voids where its eyes should be, or where its eyes would be, should be. You and Navigator exchange looks, both thinking the same thing. It is blind. Killer crosses between you two, smooth as a razor, then disappears. It flickers back in, further away now, and you move closer to the navigator to talk. You saw it too, then. Killer has been blinded. How? Unclear. This protocol has been running for decades, well past its operational limit. Navigator's sons dull as they drop their voice to a whisper. This may give us an advantage over the protocol. You flinch as the silent killer appears closer and glides past you, its empty sockets open wide. You turn to Navigator and notice something strange. Their orrery of spheres is collapsing. The orbits, usually round and even, are decaying. The spheres are following spiral paths, condensing on a central point. Navigator is noticing it too. They go to shift their position, to better direct the spheres, but they cannot. Whatever is drawing the orrery together is holding them in place. They look at you, suddenly desperate, frantic. It's a trap. Oh shit. You go to speak, but Killer appears between the two of you, gliding through the gap. Navigator freezes, and you see them framed in the empty socket. Oh my god. You realize now, if Navigator cannot move, then it is only a matter of time before one of Killer's sweeps brings them directly through Navigator. And time is not a problem for a protocol that has been running for decades. You look desperately around for a solution, for a way to extract Navigator from the mainframe. Then you see it. 3 branches, the last 3, thin and spindly, feeding the mainframe a thin diet of power and data. Break these and the mainframe collapses, once and for all, severing the connection, shattering the hardware. Whatever it takes, they must be broken. But they are encased in something, a glassy layer of protection. You'll need to unlock access before snapping them from the mainframe for good. You look at Navigator, trying to reassure them without speaking. And then you blink back to reality, their expression of fear, an after-image that slowly fades. You must act quickly. Shit. Okay. Of course. Of course. Whoa. Okay, that means that this is going on. Okay. Alright, well that means we gotta do this quick then. Okay, so we kind of have to do that next then. And that just lets you work. No, I'm good on that. Can't do anything with him. Word exchange. Evenage. Okay. Oh boy. This has gotten messy. Okay. Well, that's gonna be the end of this episode, so you'll have to stay tuned to find out what happens next. But thank you for watching. I appreciate you. If you like this, like and subscribe. Trying to grow the channel. Yeah, thank you. Take it easy. Bye.